Hey there, good evening. I hope you are doing well. It's Chico here, otherwise known as Nigerian XJW Speaks. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're having a good week. If I can't speak right now, I will get there, tongue-tied. No, but hope you're doing well. It has been raining here. I like to give you the update. But other than that, it is what it is. I have been off work this week, which is nice. To slow down the pace a little bit and catch up on rest and potter around, get those things done around the house that, get left behind a lot of the times. Who can relate to that? Okay, so today the idea is to have something not so serious, because last week it was a bit of a serious topic, PTSD and the intersect between that and the Jehovah's Witness experience. So I want to make it a bit lighter today. That's the plan. And I have something, I guess, happening in my personal life that really did trigger this topic for me and wanting to talk about it. So I currently have a neighbor who is who likes to report things, false or true. They like to report things and exaggerate things. And so they have been on the phone to authorities they can find. It seems like every single week for the last few months. And I just found out today the extent to which this has been happening, that this has been constant. And, I am handling it. I've gotten the police involved, so they're going to take care of that, because I have been on the receiving end of that. But anyway, what that reminded me of is the culture that we used to have in the witness faith, where people told on each other. You were encouraged to mention it if you see someone doing something that you didn't think was right. And that just really reminded me of that. The culture of reporting. I think they've even made videos about it in recent years, giving praise to people who told on their partners, their siblings, over some party they went to or some music they listened to. I think I can think of probably the only time my parents got in trouble, as far as I know, was they had made a trip to Israel for pilgrimage. Someone in my dad's side who, like, if you've listened to me for any length of time, you know that my dad's side, they're not witnesses, and so it's different. So someone on his side had sorted things out, and they were able to secure this trip to go on pilgrimage to Israel. And someone told somebody told somebody, the elders found out, and they had a bit of discipline for that. So it's that culture of telling on each other. And so I was thinking of the experiences I've had with the elders, and one of it's quite hilarious. And I want to hear from you as well. What are some of the cases you've had with the elders, called into the back room, got in it talking to? I want to hear some of those stories. I've heard some right funny stuff, and my goodness, I don't know how they do it with a straight face. So, I mean, in general, I looked like a goody two shoes growing up. I looked like the model witness child, even though I had a completely double life from about the age of 8. But on the outside, I looked the part, and so I actually didn't get into any trouble until I moved from Nigeria to the UK. I was used in Kingdom Hall assignments, things like that. I was making comments. I was all into that stuff, all over that stuff. And so goody two shoes, double life on the side, what is standard for most witnesses. And so it was when I actually moved to the UK and I realized, or to me at the time, it seemed that people were not living double lives, that they were actually what they said they were. And I was determined to get this fixed, to get this resolved. And so when I moved to the city that I would go to uni, I decided to go speak to the elders. I made that choice myself. And so I called them and said, can I speak? I think it was maybe 2 or 3 elders came, and I sort of poured everything out, right from the start, the whole thing. The nasty part, the doubt. But I think I was definitely coming from a place of, I'm so sorry. This is how I feel I've ended up here. This is what I saw in my childhood that made this be the case, but I want to start again. I want to have a fresh start, because actually, if I'm honest with myself, I'm not really sure I believe it all, or that that it's not just head knowledge, that it's actually in here. I feel like my heart isn't connected. And so I was, how old was I? I may have been 20, yeah, 20, something like that. Yeah, I must have been 20 at that point. And so I said everything. And to be honest, from what I recall, at the time, I thought they were really nice. I mean, being out in hindsight, if someone came to me with stuff like that, there would be some authorities involved. Just saying. That's all I'm saying. But at the time, to me, they seemed understanding, kind, and compassionate, and obliged me the desire or the request to start again. I said, I literally, I want to study all over again, because I feel like the books that I went through to get baptized, that it felt like it was just going through the motions, that there was no connection, there was nothing there. And so they assigned this sister, Valerie, to study with me all over again, and basically start from who is Jehovah, who is Jesus, ransom, everything. And I was really trying to connect with the ransom, because I think, right, if anything's gonna get my heart involved, it's got to be the ransom, because literally, someone died for you. Seriously, have an heart, as they say here. Have an heart. Like, if that doesn't tug at your heartstrings, then you're dead inside. So, okay, if there's anything that's gonna make it happen, it's gonna be the ransom. And so I was really pushing to make that connect. And so the Val was nice. I think I've mentioned Val here before. Val had a daughter who was disfellowshipped. Val's daughter couldn't come in the house. There was some interaction with the grandkids. So the daughter would park on the street, usher the grandkids out of the car, and they would walk down the walkway, pavement, and go in, but the daughter couldn't come in, which at the time seemed completely normal. Looking back, crazy behavior. Not them, but although that's debatable. So yeah, I studied with Val for many months before I realized, okay, this wasn't working. I don't think I went to sit down again with them over that to kind of give a report as to how it was going, although Val's husband was an elder, and so we would have conversations. I remember one of the conversations we had was about, we had conversations about whether the one day in Genesis was literal one day. And so we'd have discussions on that, and Val's husband would try and explain it. He used to write poems as well. I know, a bit different, right? But of course, it was all kingdom-related poems. So he had one about the new world and people that get resurrected, and how they would interact and get to know each other again. So yeah, that was the first, I guess, sort of sit down. The next incident, which I think is hilarious, looking back now, the next and the last incident, may I add, was I would have been, so it's around the same time as I would have been 21 around this time, and I had this haircut. I don't know if I have any pictures. I probably don't, but if I can find any pictures, I'll try and put them. I had this haircut where I'd shaved. I don't know if it was one side or both sides of my hair, and I had like a mohawk, and I don't know if it was colored as well. And so I'd gone out in preaching. We were standing at the marketplace, and one of the elders who was out there called me to have a word about this haircut that I've had. And apparently, it's like, to you it's just a haircut, but we are out here, we're representing Jehovah, and this is going to be detracting from the message, and this haircut is going to be detracting from the message. And so really think about that. Even at the time I thought it was kind of nutty. It's a haircut. It's a haircut. If someone's going to be distracted by hair being shaved, whether on one side or on two sides, I don't think they were paying that much attention to start with. But again, it's this obsession with image, isn't it? It's this obsession with having good PR, how they come across, where when they hear of something terrible that happens, the focus is not always on what happened, it's who knows about it. Who already knows? Can we control this? Can we cover it? Can we keep our image of being squeaky clean, goody two shoes? And it just really played out. The amount of talking that came off that haircut, I would say, was more than what came off the explaining what my experiences had been growing up. And it just shows where the priorities are. I'm just checking my notes that I've covered everything, because it's going to be a fairly short one today. So yeah, it's the obsession with image, and that purely what that conversation was about is we are standing out here to preach, and people are going to look at your hair and be distracted. Seriously, that was the last time I had a sit down, or in that capacity, with an elder or elders giving counsel, because it wasn't long after that that I moved to Belgium for a year, and I did not find a Kingdom Hall. If you want the full story of how I left, I'm going to put a link to that somewhere. But not long after that hair conversation, maybe a few months later, I moved to Belgium. And before I went, I was already coming to the end of what I could take. I'd realized that all this studying with Val wasn't really helping me be more sold. And actually, it was starting to feel kind of heavy, the whole process. And so before I moved to Belgium, I'd already made up my mind that I wasn't going to look for a Kingdom Hall. I was just going to take a breather and recoup before I went back, and that ended up being the start of the end, really. But like I said, I'll put the link to how I left. So those were my two incidents, I guess, with the elders, where we had one-on-one conversations. I know, like I said at the start, I've heard some very funny stories of people being called into the back room for all sorts of things, and give me some stories. I want to laugh. I want to make it a bit fun this week and not as serious as it was last week. It's the ridiculousness of it all. It's completely bonkers. What gives some men somewhere the right to tell people what they do with themselves that has nothing to do with them. Completely bizarre. And then encouraging people to report on each other. You have a snitching culture, people talking about things that has nothing to do with them. They don't have all the information, or sometimes even downright lies. It's crazy. Anyway, before I finish, it's a reminder that this Sunday is the last Sunday of the month, which for this channel means it's live stream time. It's a community live stream. On the last Sunday of every month, we sit down and we catch up on the month, how things have been going. And so that is this Sunday. It is 9 p.m. UK time. I don't know what that is for you. Yeah, 9 p.m. UK time. But I will set up an event, and so it's there as a reminder. Set a reminder for yourself so you can come and join me, and maybe we can have a two-way conversation, with somebody, and hear what's happened in September for you, what's gone well, what's not gone so well. Doesn't have to be JW related, be anything, because heck, we've left it. We haven't left it to talk about it all the time, right? We can talk about the things that now matter to us, the thing that now means something. Sorry if you've been hearing squeaking the whole time. Because I've been off work, I've moved my work chair here, and I just noticed it squeaks a lot. I mean, it's very comfortable, but my goodness, it's squeaking. Ooh, right. Have a fantastic rest of the week. I'll speak to you on Sunday. Comment below, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, share it as well. I can see that there's been a few new subscribers since I made my last video, so it's great to have you here. Welcome to the family. And I'll speak to you soon. Take care.